Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday, September 15th, 2015. Thanks for tuning in to episode 48 of Cardoodle. This is Jim. I have no idea what's going on the screen right now. Maybe I'm doing another speed sketch, maybe I'm working on the Halloween cartoon, maybe I'm working on the Not Christmas cartoon. The reason I have no idea what's going on the screen is because I'm trying to record the audio portion of several blogs ahead of time. Not only that, I'm trying to make them really quick. The reason behind that is the last couple of days I've been developing a kind of sore throat, and I am very afraid that I'm going to lose my voice very soon. I'm really hoping it's just due to drainage, due to seasonal allergies, but just in case I'm getting sick, I figured I might as well do some stuff ahead of time, which I think is a pretty good segue into what I'm going to talk about, which again, may or may not have anything to do with what you're seeing on the screen. Now, statistics show that 1 out of every 5 of you watching this blog are going to find what I say offensive and dangerous. And that's because flu season is coming up, and I'm here to say, please get your shots. Now, in my mind, I don't think this should be a controversial statement. There are literally hundreds of years of science proving that vaccines are safe and effective. Now, for some of you out there who are hardcore anti-vaccine people, I'm not really going to convince you of anything, but I would like to ask you to listen for a few minutes. The way vaccinations work is it prevents a disease from getting a host and thereby spreading to other people. This is very important to me personally for 2 reasons. Well, let's take the flu for example. I cannot get a flu shot. For some reason, ever since the shot started including immunization for H1N1, I started getting nasty allergic reactions to it. And now while my wife gets a flu shot every year, she has a condition that can suppress her immune system, which means it's not 100% effective for her. So the fewer people who get their shots, the more likely it is that this disease could spread. I've mentioned several times that I work in retail. I see dozens and sometimes hundreds of customers a day, especially as the holiday season approaches. And since I can't get a shot, if somebody else doesn't get one, if they choose not to get one, then it's much more likely for me to bring this home to my wife. So not only am I risking my health, I'm risking hers too. If you want evidence that vaccines actually do work, I have 2 diseases I can throw out here right now. The first is polio. When was the last time you heard of anybody in the United States getting polio? You probably haven't heard of anybody getting polio in the US because so many people have gotten immunized that the disease can't find hosts to spread around. But perhaps the most important example of how vaccinations are effective is smallpox. Smallpox is estimated to have killed 300 to 500 million people in the 20th century alone. There are entire countries who have lower populations than that, but you don't hear about it anymore. A lot of people are under the impression that we cured it. In fact, we didn't. The World Health Organization more or less stood up and made the speech from the end of Independence Day, you know, we will not go quietly into the night and all that stuff, and we vaccinated it out of existence. We just made it so it had no bodies to enter, and thanks to that, millions upon millions of people don't have to die from it. Now, I'll admit that I'm not the most scientifically literate person in the world, but even I can't ignore that overwhelming evidence. And I'm not here to attack anybody. I'm just here to ask you to think about it a little bit. There's an infographic that's gone around on the internet for a little while that addresses a lot of the allegations of, you know, autism or dangerous chemicals in vaccines. I've put a link to it in the description. I encourage you to go ahead and read it. It's a very even-handed and reasonable argument about why the anti-vaccination movement is actually very misinformed and unintentionally dangerous. Now, I'm not saying you're a bad person if you choose not to get your own shots or give your kids their shots. What I am saying is you should do what I did and research multiple sources of information, because I believe in science. I know there's a lot of bad stuff that goes on in the pharmaceutical industry, but vaccinations have existed before it became what it is today. In fact, look up the polio vaccine specifically. Jonas Salk, the inventor of the vaccine, refused to patent it because he knew it would be so beneficial to so many lives. If you're going to tell me there's still a conspiracy behind that, then I really can't say anything else to convince you otherwise. So please, for the sake of the people who are vulnerable, people who can't get a vaccine, people for whom the vaccines aren't effective, get your shots. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Cardoodle. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, do like your mom told you and share. I'll see you wonderful people next Tuesday.